Good morning and welcome to Magical Monday Musing for the week of 3/9/2015. So how are you all doing as we make our way through this month of March? Hopefully some signs of spring are making their way to you. We're still got quite a bit of snow and we still have some that is going to be continuing to flow for a little while. So even though it doesn't really look like it on the outside, I know a lot of us are starting to feel it on the inside. So I want to thank you for joining me for this week's episode and let you in on a couple of little secrets about some of the things that are happening with our filming here. One of them is schedules are increasing and shifting and changing. So in order to make these musings happen for our Circle Magica community, we're actually trying to film a few of them ahead of time. So you may notice that is the case. And why we're going to keep doing that is so we can keep making these productions happen for you every Monday. But we just have to shift the way that we shoot. So I'll be doing a couple episodes. For example, today is the full storm moon on Thursday where I'm shooting today. So because we know that time is not linear, we can simply collectively, I will continue to collectively tune in for us and choose the card in advance that's going to serve us in the weeks to come. So along those lines, I just wanted to mention a reference because I've been really working a lot with the construct of time lately and how fluid it is. And you know, we have this idea of past, present, and future, but there's also ideas of time constructs where they're all happening simultaneously. And I wanted to share a resource with you today if you're interested in opening up to expanding your practice of how you work with time and your understanding of it. This is a resource that I mention in most of my classes, and it's a book that it made such an impact on me when I first read it that it still stays with me, and it's been years and years since I've read it, but it's called The Architecture of All Abundance by Lenedra Carroll, who is the singer-songwriter Jewel's mom. And it is a story about their lives, but it's also fascinating because she's just a brilliant woman and has much to say on lots of spiritual topics, and it talks about her spirituality and her developing and unfoldment. And I could tell you it's really it's an award winning, or let's see if it was the winner. It is, yeah, it was the NAPRA Nautilus Award winner. And so it is definitely a great take if you're in the mood for adding some additional inspiration to the tarot work that you're doing with the Wildwood and the Rider-Waite here at Monday Magical Musing. So we are going to continue this week. I've chosen our cards for this week, and we'll get into those after we do our meditation to ground and start to create our sacred space. And then we'll also touch in about the week that we're currently working with is we're still working with the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Stones protection. And what I have felt led to do is to do a little supplement to this by blogging about what's happening during the week, just a few personal reflections. And I started that last week with the blog entry was called, or the email, Field Notes from the Path, or yeah, I think that's what I'm calling it. So everything is so fresh and changing, and everything is really fluid and trying to go with it as we develop this practice together. So I'll be writing a little bit in that this week before next Monday to just share some reflections, and hopefully that can also help expand and you know, give you a little bit more to think about and to work with. So with that being said, I invite you now to close your eyes if you feel led to do so, and we'll create our sacred space as we always do, with taking 3 deep breaths in and out at your own pace. Breathing naturally and deeply. In a way that feels comfortable to you. Letting each breath bring you into your core, into the place where your own inner truth and wisdom and heart resides. Allowing each breath to bring in relaxation, letting go of any tension or any thoughts that would distract you away from this moment and this experience. Allowing yourself to move if needed to allow the physical comfort to deepen as well. So if you find that a thought comes up, you can just relax and let it go. Or if any emotions that cross your mind or that you feel a sensation in your body, just for this period of time that we share, you can release them and let them go. Bringing your focus into the intentions that you set for this week, what it is that you'd like to work with as we begin to learn about the cards for this week, where you are in your life and how you'd like them to instruct or assist you. So let's call on Mother Earth now to provide foundation for us this week. Let's call on the forces of light and illumination, angelic realms, the master teachers, star and sky beings. Calling on the lower, middle, and upper worlds, calling on our own ancestors and loved ones in spirit. Asking for the 4 directions and elements to assist us in our work. And as always, that place within us that acts like our inner GPS. Asking for the energies, the archetypes, and the themes of the cards themselves to guide us through not only the creation of this space, but also the work in the coming week that we'll join with. So may we be upheld, uplifted, and enfolded with the light. And so mote it be. So I invite you to come back into present time and space as we begin to explore the cards that we're going to work with this week. And in how we were working with doing some earthly work, some material, or even some might call it mundane work, working with the pentacles and that suit and the stones. This week, we're being asked to shift into much bigger gears to open our understanding of the universe and ourselves and our place in it. Because this week, the cards that we collectively have chosen is a major arcana, or some people say arcana card. We've picked number 17, I believe it is, the Star in the Rider-Waite deck, and the Pole Star in the Wildwood Tarot. So we have some very lofty inspiration and guidance for this week, which is really exciting for us, because when you think about the influence of the stars, it's been central to our psyche and our makeup as human beings since time immemorial. You know, you can think about many of the cultures that human civilization has had some aspect of star or the heavens as a central theme of guidance. I mean, we can think about ancient Egypt and the creation of astronomy and astrology, and how many of the ancient cultures, such as Greece and on and on and on, going back further and further as well, used to think and look to the stars for guidance, for omens, for direction, and how they would look to the stars and they would see mythical creatures and beasts and the gods and the goddesses, and they would see beings in the stars that they would communicate with, and that they would seek to understand their world through, and to seek as omens or for divination or what have you. And we can think about, in the Christian tradition, the Star of Bethlehem, and think about the common phrase of following your North Star, that being your compass in your life. And even right down to the aspects of our very childlike nature, songs like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or When You Wish Upon a Star. There's lots and lots of mentions and nods to the power of the stars in our lives. And so this week we're working with the pole star, and we're working with the star, the pole star in the wildwood, and the star in the Rider-Waite. And in contrast to last week, where the two cards had really different feels and vibes to them, this week the stars, both cards, do have a similar sort of theme and understanding. So I jotted down just a couple notes from the books that I'll read with you. And of course, you know that when you subscribe to the Magical Monday Musings at www.circlemagica.com/subscribe, you will get not only this video with the intuitive takes on the cards that come from me, but you'll also get the write-ups from each of the books that we pull and work with each week in the email/blog post. So be sure, if you haven't become a member of the Circle Magica community, that you can do that. You can also find these posts up every Monday on my Facebook page, which is Deb D'Onofrio. So you can interact in either way in order to get the teachings every week. But the pole star, a couple notes that I took, represent the eternal symbolic of celestial guidance as we look to the heavens for direction and solace. They represent higher patterns of universal wisdom that are available to us, which is really true if you think about it. Have you ever just gone out on a starry night and sat and communed with the stars, just taken them in and just sort of appreciated their grandeur and just the amazing power that they emanate, I guess you could say. For those of you who wrote into me or contacted me to let me know that you did go ahead and get the Opening to Channel book by Sanaya Roman that I mentioned in one of our previous videos, you will also be able to access new portals with the pole star of consciousness. So recognize that any and every being can communicate with you, including the stars. So as you begin to open your channel more and more, which those of you that watch every week are doing, you'll see unfoldments of many different flavors and kind as you begin to understand the nature of the depth of who and what you can communicate with. Okay, and here's a quote I want to read you from the Wildwood Tarot. It's, "There is a greater unseen power in the universe, one that can manifest and balance the enormous gravity, light, and energy that form the heart of a star, and yet also weaves the subtle interactions between subatomic particles that exist in multidimensional states that we can only theorize about. That the universe provides a continuous source of guidance, that these cards can also represent bringing us to a sense of inner calm and peace, that we also can look forward to a time of renewal and inner focus this week. And the last quote is that the star allows us to tap into a unique personal vision and understanding of our destiny in a divine universe. So a lot of conversation this week and chance to interpret your relationship with the divine universe. And so that's something bigger, that's something grander than going from the pentacles and the stones and that really material, grounded, earthly kind of dense feeling. Then we're moving up into this really expansive, universal sense of divinity and our place within the divine this week. And in the Rider-Waite card, you'll notice that there are a multitude of 8-pointed stars. There are eight pointed stars in the star card. And the 8 points to a divine balance. And it also, if you think about the 8 on its side, it's the infinity sign, which again represents that that sort of nod to the divine universal energies. And so you may experience a sense of 8 this week. You may notice that you have some epiphanies or deepening experiences about your place in this world. You may encounter, again, as always with these cards, we can look for either the inner star, that part of you, self-recognition of this bigger dynamic at play. You might encounter someone that embodies this card, like someone who's a star, someone that might be bringing a sense of divine consciousness to you, or someone that helps to bring in a sense of balance, someone that's a calm or nurturing person for you, or someone that is going to help expand your path in terms of this particular way of being within yourself. I feel this week that some of you are going to have some encounters with literally the stars, and I invite you to open yourself to that and maybe seek that out this week. If there's a night where the stars are shining and you can take some time and just go out and sort of bathe in their light and maybe ask a question of them or give thanks to them for all that the inspiration and beauty that they offer you, or whatever it is that you might want to communicate to them. You might be surprised to receive a response, or maybe not. Maybe that's something that you've done and already know that that's part of who you can communicate with, if you will. But some of you are going to have the experience of having a different sense of the divine. The door is open this week for you to have those bigger experiences if you choose it. So if you set your intentions this week as receiving, whether it's just a clear knowingness about something, receiving a greater inspiration, feeling things that are difficult to put into words, but just this sense of magnitude, this greater magnitude of your relationship with the universal power of this world. So some of you are going to be able to tap into that in ways that you haven't before. So there's the possibility for what I guess I would call an acceleration, something that is it could also just sort of jettison you forward in your spiritual connections to the divine this week. So some of you are going to be having a great sense of heart connection with the value or the idea of gratitude. And just the simplicity that takes over when you're steeped in that sense of feeling grateful, just for your life, for yourself, that you're here at this time on earth. And it may not necessarily be in response to, you know, for some of us, that feeling of gratitude can get triggered by something external, such as, you know, a beautiful sunset, or looking at the stars, or something going your way. And, you know, oftentimes that's where that comparison can come in about sometimes we feel grateful that something didn't happen to us, right? And so we're grateful that we were spared from something, or that, you know, somebody else's circumstances are not ours. So there's a lot of ways that gratitude can be brought to our attention. But I do feel that there are going to be some of you this week that are really going to feel grateful, have that sense of gratitude and that connection to the divine through feeling grateful about fill in the blank, whatever that is for you this week. See what else wants to come through for you. Also, with the sense of community, I feel that there are some of you that are going to be having a different sense of your community or people around you, a deepening, or maybe different kinds of connections within the community that are going to be pleasing to you. And sometimes, we talk about like how the stars align. So I feel some of you are going to have some of the stars aligning this week in terms of relationships, friendships, collaboration. Some of them are just really feel lovely, like in terms of business ventures and different things unfolding, feeling almost like a little bit of a flow starting now, kind of like that spring thaw, when you start to see here in New England anyway, you start to see the maple trees being tapped. You see the silver buckets as you drive around. It kind of, the flow, like I'm feeling that flow is going to be starting for some of you, and that it's just going to feel so full of possibility. And for some of you, it's like you've been aching for that, this long, cold winter freeze where everything can feel so constricted and solidified and locked down. Some of you are really going to be feeling refreshed by that sense of like, how the water can move under the ice, so there's some sort of deep spring, and it's going to be feeling like, oh, this is really just what I've wanted and needed right now. So some of you are going to have that kind of experience this week too. Some of you are going to feel as though you are the star, like you're the shining star. Think about the movie star, or the star of the show. So it's going to play out for some of you that way. So some of you are really going to feel like, the spotlight is on you, and you're feeling good about that. You're going to feel like you're shining. And that's going to be a really pleasurable experience for some of our community members this week, where you're just going to feel like, kind of like I've got this, or this really feels great. And so revel in that and really enjoy that. There's room this week for that too. So receive that about yourself this week, and know that, as you do that, you help to encourage other people to shine and to be the star that they are. Sometimes I call that being the pebble in the pond. So there are some of you that are going to, be that star that shines and encourage others to do the same thing. So that'll be really cool too. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that wants to come through. I would say that this can be a week that silence, less is better in terms of stimulus. And I'm turning into noise in particular. Like if you're one that always has music on or the TV on, see this week if you can minimize that and just be in the quiet a little bit more this week. It's like Spirit wants to get in touch with you more, and they oftentimes need to, sort of ratchet through all of this external stuff we have going on to get through to us. So this week I am being told to let you know that Spirit is requesting of you to give more quiet space to your week. So, if you're in the car driving, purposely turn off the noise and be. If you're in your office, if you feel like that's like, whoa, too scary, you can't be in the quiet, just do it for a few minutes at a time or a little bit. See what that feels like. You're being invited to challenge yourself that way, if it would be a challenge, or if you already do that and that's something that you already have had some experience with, then let yourself do it a little bit more, or make it maybe this week that you just really may fast from it completely, to whatever degree you're comfortable with. They want to have some time with you, and they want to be able to connect with you without the static and the noise that's for some of us can just be such a normal way of life. So I want to share that with you too. So with that being said, that feels like all the messages that want to come through for us this week. We have a wonderful opportunity to shine and to be shined upon, and to be with the universe, be with our divinity and with the divinity that is always ever present for us in a more profound way this week. So I hope you'll take advantage of it. I hope you set intentions that will serve you this week. And once again, if you would like to be a part of this community on a weekly basis and get the email/blog delivered to your inbox every Monday morning, all you need to do is go to circlemagica.com/subscribe and get on board with us, and then you will automatically be enrolled. Or you can as well go to my Facebook page, which is Deb D'Onofrio, and find the post there every Monday morning. So I wish you a wonderful week. May it be magical and powerful, and we'll see you here again next week. Blessed be, my friends.